Welcome back to another edition of the KSL.com Cougar Beat podcast. And we're finally through football season, including spring football season. The Final Four wraps up tonight as we record this with the national championship game between UConn and Purdue. You guys aren't here for that, though. We focus on college basketball enough. It's now baseball season, officially. Even though it's been baseball season for a really, really long time for my next guest, who is just laughing over here because I'm the idiot reporter coming in right now after basketball season to baseball season. But while I've been focusing on the hardwood, my next guest, Stone Cushing, has been killing it on the bump for the BYU baseball team right now, currently leading the Big 12 Conference in saves with 7. A mark that ranks tied for 5th nationally. One of the better relief pitchers in the country. By the way, if you want to know, the nation high is Louisiana Tech's Ethan Bates, who has 10 saves. Mm-hmm. So Stone Cushing right up there. The 5'10" righty out of Salem Hills by way of the College of Southern Idaho. Stone, thanks so much for joining me for a couple of minutes, man.
Of course.
Stone, let's dive right into this season with you guys, and let's actually start most recently. I caught you in between games as you guys are coming off of a series win in Austin against Texas before Tuesday night's game, the first game of a staggered midweek series against the University of Utah. I think you've heard of them. You're from Utah. I've heard of them. I think most of our listeners have heard of them. Yep. It might be an okay game. But just what's the morale? What's the feeling about this team right now coming off of that series win against UT?
I mean, we had a few games where we were struggling a little bit against Kansas, and then we kind of had to come together as a team, figure some stuff out, and I think we went out and figured what we needed to figure out against Texas. We took the first one, lost the second one on a nail. I mean, it was a nail-biter. It was a really well-played baseball game, and then we went out and did our thing in the last game. Colin Reuter hit 3 home runs.
He's okay.
Yeah, seriously. He hit 4 home runs on the weekend, just kind of carried us. Whole lineup contributed, pitching staff held one of the best offenses in the country to almost nothing, and I think it really helped out the morale. Hopefully we can get some wins going down the stretch now. For sure.
Walk me through that game 3 a little bit. You closed it out, got the save on that one to clinch the win. Just walk me kind of what's going through your mind during those last couple of innings to nail the series down.
Well, it wasn't save opportunity for a little while, and then they ended up scoring a couple runs, and it was 7-5. So I knew I'd have the opportunity to get the save, and I was facing the same part of the lineup that I'd faced in Game 2 and Game 1, the top of the lineup, and I knew that they were all swinging it pretty well, and they've all been feeling pretty good about themselves. So I just wanted to go in and kind of change. I wanted to go in and kind of change the way that they were thinking, so got myself amped up, went in there, got a little bit of adrenaline, and I mean, I just made the pitches I needed to make in the right time, so felt pretty good about that.
Everybody always looks at the starter as, the big guns. They get all of the media hype. They get the big explosive walkout music at the start of the game, right? Everybody wants a star or whatnot. But you've turned into one of the better relief pitchers, certainly in the Big 12 Conference, and right up there nationally. We mentioned some of the stats. I won't repeat them because I don't want your head to get too big here. But what's the mentality got to be like as a reliever, as a Division I reliever, relief pitcher, to be able to come in and lock it down and kind of close it down in a lot of ways? Because you guys in some ways kind of do that maybe a little bit anonymously. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but a little bit, just slightly out of the limelight, but maybe in some ways just as important as a starter, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, my job is just to come in, and I've gotten to the point in my career where I know that if I throw my pitches the way I'm supposed to throw them in the spots that I'm supposed to throw them, then not a lot of the hitters are going to be able to hit them. So I just trust my stuff. I throw my sinker where I'm supposed to throw it and just let it do its thing. I'll throw my slider where I'm supposed to throw it, let it do its thing. Got to change up and forcing to back those two up. So as long as I go in and I pound the zone, I can control the inside part of the plate. I can tunnel each pitch one after another, and I think swings and misses are a huge part of my game. But as long as I can pound the zone when they're not swinging and force those swings and misses, that's kind of my mindset going into a game is control the zone, control the inside part of the plate, and then get those swings and misses off the plate as well as I can.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always interested when it comes to baseball, especially baseball around here at BYU, at journeys. There's a lot of journeys on this roster and on really every roster at BYU, especially when you add in guys that go on missions, come back, and the way the draft system works, obviously, being able to get drafted, come back to college, that kind of thing. And then even more so when you talk about JUCO prospects. JUCO baseball is just on such another level right now. You spent 2 years at CSI, now at BYU. Coming out of, I would say, a pretty good high school baseball career in the state of Utah. 5A first team All-State in 2021, Region 8 MVP. Then you head up north to CSI for 2 years. One of the better pitchers up there before making your way back to Utah County at BYU. When you think about kind of your journey to get to this point, how do you sort of sum it up? What are kind of some of your, I guess, what were kind of some of your emotions as you came back home, in a sense, I guess, a couple miles away from Salem, Utah, to pitch for BYU?
Yeah, I mean, I'd sum it up as hard work and patience. I think that I was out of high school. I don't know, it just didn't work out for me to go to BYU or to any sort of D1 around right off the bat, so I had to be patient. I went up to CSI, played my 2 years. I grinded, did as much as I could up there, and I would say, like, being patient in my career has been the one thing that has gotten me to the point that I am, because I haven't tried to do anything too much too early. And so I would say that's the one word, just working as hard as I can to be the player that I want to be, and being patient along the way.
Patience, I think, is a pretty key word, and it's a word that maybe a lot of college baseball players eventually learn, especially with how big the path through the JUCO system is right now. Is that what you would maybe, what kind of some advice that you would offer to any high school baseball player that maybe hasn't quite hit that grand slam with their college offer, that kind of thing? Is just be patient, keep working, keep grinding, and eventually it'll come for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a place for everybody to play, and I've told any kid that I've worked with or been around that is younger than me, I've told them just be patient. I mean, it's going to come. I mean, there's a lot of guys who will come in when they're freshmen, sophomore, juniors in high school, but that's not everybody. And I didn't commit until my senior year, committed to a JUCO. I was patient, got my opportunity, and there's a place to play for everybody, and if you work hard, the cream rises to the top. So that's about it.
For sure. Patience, it feels like, kind of describes this BYU pitching staff in a lot of ways. The depth out of the bullpen, some of the relievers that you've got on this team really is pretty impressive. We were talking off mic a little bit about Mason Olson, another South County product who also went to CSI. I think you're both Eagle alums.
Yeah, we played together there.
And played together up there. He's transferred his forward year from Salem, obviously, and then former CSI alums now reunited at BYU. What is it just generally about kind of the bullpen on this BYU baseball team that has you guys, it feels like you guys kind of lock it down so well?
Well, our starters do a good job keeping us in the game. I mean, Ben Hansen's done a good job all year. Bryce Robeson. We've had a little bit of struggles in the Saturday game, finding out who's going to be that guy. Cutter pitched pretty well for us at the start of the year, but he's kind of moved to the bullpen and done really well since he's done that. Hayden Kuhn's been pitching well for us to start the game on Saturdays the last 2 weeks, and I just think that when the starters go out and give us a chance and the lineup starts scoring runs, it makes our job easy to come in and kind of shut it down in a sense. I mean, if we come in on the zone, everyone on this roster has a good arm and has the stuff to get any lineup in the country out. So I think that's kind of what it boils down to.
Your former teammate and current teammate Mason Olson, we touched on him a little bit, but leads BYU in innings pitched and strikeouts a year ago as a starter, then moves and joins you as former JUCO teammate in the bullpen, I guess, a little bit. Currently 2-1 with a 3.48 ERA, one save in there, allowed 13 runs on 24 hits this season. He's been another lockdown player. Are you surprised by what Mason's been able to do, especially this year, coming off of being that guy with the bright lights and the big time walk-up music and all of that, to be able to transition from starting to coming out of the pen?
Not even a little bit. I mean, I've played with him, like you said, since my freshman year. I knew him in high school. Since I've known him, he's got a rubber arm. I mean, he can do whatever he wants to do. Me and him are both. I mean, he he's 5'10", or he's 5'10", I'm like 5'10 and a half, and we don't have that stature, but we come in and we throw the pitches that we know we're going to get guys out with, and I think his strike percentage is probably, that's not really a stat people keep, but I guarantee his strike percentage is one of the best in the country. He pounds the zone, he keeps guys off balance, he has good secondary pitches. I mean, since I've played with him, he's been one of the guys that I've watched and kind of learned a lot from, so it's been good to play with him for so long and be able to pick his ear whenever we're in the clubhouse together and whenever we're just playing out in the field, in the dugout, whatever. You know, it's just, we kind of feed off of each other. It's tough to go from hitting off of a lefty who steps across his body and throws a slider and two-seam to a righty who steps across his body and throws a sinker and two-seam. So it's like we're kind of complete opposites, but it's been a lot of fun having him around again.
A couple questions. We'll wind down here and get you out of here. So getting you ready for a game tomorrow, I guess, because don't want you hanging out too much with me when you've got a game up at Smith's Ballpark here. But this season, BYU's first year in the Big 12. I cover a lot of college football, a lot of college basketball, soccer, volleyball. I've seen kind of BYU adapt, or maybe some of their struggles to adapt in some ways, to Big 12 play. Big 12 baseball is no joke, though. Really good, lots of arms, lots of depth, lots of athleticism. Some of the best baseball in college baseball, Division I wise at least. Has BYU's move into the Big 12, has it been everything that you thought it might be, or what's it kind of been like just sort of adapting to some of the better baseball in Division I guess this year?
I mean, absolutely. I always dreamed of it, never thought it would actually come true, but I've never thought I'd be standing on the field playing against schools like Texas, Oklahoma, like watching them on TV all my life. I mean, it's pretty surreal. I never got to experience the West Coast conferences of BYU players, so I haven't been able to see like the differences between the West Coast and the Big 12, but the differences between CSI playing in the SWAC.
I was gonna say SWAC baseball is pretty good too. Sometimes.
Yeah, but no, we're not seeing 7,500 people in the stands. But yeah, it's been super fun. The atmospheres of the different ballparks we've been to is unreal. I think that we've played pretty competitive baseball since we've been in the Big 12. We're coming off of a series win. Hopefully, we can get a couple more coming down the stretch and get our spot in the series conference tournament and maybe clinch a regional.
For sure. But before that, tomorrow night, as we're recording this, Tuesday night, it's the first of a season-long midweek series between BYU and the University of Utah. You know those guys; they know you a little bit. What are you guys looking for to kind of to coming off of that big series win, I guess, against Texas, going up to the U before coming back home against Baylor?
I mean, they've been playing some pretty good ball. I'm sure they've got a kind of a chip on their shoulder a little bit after playing pretty good in the Pac-12. I mean, they have a pretty good record. They've got some guys who are swinging it. They've got some good pitchers. They've got a closer who's got more saves than I do. So, I mean, we've just got to go in and play our baseball, stick to our approach at the plate, pound the zone. I mean, that's just what's gonna come down to in the long run. Hopefully, we can get a win up there tomorrow. We'll play them again 2 more times this year. I mean, rivalry baseball, there's nothing like it. It's like Red Sox Yankees type thing. So
he says as he's sitting here wearing a Red Sox jersey.
Yeah, even though I cheer for the Yankees when they're playing. So, but yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see.
Yeah.
This will be my first little bit of rivalry baseball since I've been a part of BYU, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, for sure. And by this time next year, that'll be a conference rivalry series, so maybe a little bit to look forward to.
Yeah, that'll be crazy.
As well, in some ways. Stone Cushing from the BYU baseball team, one of the better relievers in the nation, getting ready to take the bump again tomorrow, Smith's Ballpark, Tuesday night, Smith's Ballpark. Be there, be square, and then back home for a weekend series against Baylor. I think it's Baylor.
Yep.
Yeah, against Baylor. Here at Miller Ballpark in Provo. Stone, thanks so much for joining me, sitting down with me, and talking about your season so far.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy, know y'all with me, let's get it, baby. Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy, know you with me, let's get it, baby. Boys just came back from their mission, we going crazy. Kalani got no problems, you could call him Jay-Z. Best fans up in the nation since the 1980s. Strength staff keep us working, yeah, we never lazy.